In terms of whether the society we live in imitates or mimics the vision that is provided in 1984, that really remains a question. It depends on how you look at things at the moment. So there are people who might actually reproach 1984 for being too much of an exaggeration, in the sense that it is very much linked to an authoritarian kind of model of governing and managing society. It is very much related to kind of a totalitarian police state in which everybody is brought under the watchful gaze of one central entity that is Big Brother. So some people might see that as too much of an exaggeration, because after all, we are perhaps not living in a maximum surveillance society. There are still checks and balances in place. There are still regulations that safeguard some of our liberties, if not all. So for some, that might be an exaggeration, both the metaphor of 1984 and the metaphor of Big Brother. There are obviously some similarities, but there are also differences. And I think personally, while we can find the seeds of contemporary surveillance even in 1984 example, I think sometimes 1984, what it does is underplays. It is underplaying what's going on now, because I think the intensity, the frequency and the character of surveillance that we are witnessing now is much more, it can be seen as being much more sinister, but at the same time it has some benign features as well. So let me just explain what I mean. If we look at 1984, we are dealing with a singular entity, a centralized singular entity called Big Brother. So we know the existence of an entity that resides more or less at the top, that manages and organizes the life of the population in an authoritarian, totalitarian way. So at least we know that entity exists and that's what it's doing. As opposed to that, what we are witnessing nowadays is perhaps what we may call little Big Brothers. It is not only the state that has the power of surveillance, but other non-state entities. It is not only organizations that surveil us, but also we survey ourselves. We survey each other, peer-to-peer surveillance that is being encouraged by social media and all the interactions on social media. So really, we are not dealing with one singular figure, but that figure is dispersed. That figure is diffused and it is designed into the mundane character of our everyday life.